is trained to know, oh, we got to run and find Jerry before Jason speaks, right?
And they find Skip. He speaks before the players. At least let the players and the coaches tell you what's going on, what happened.
Okay.
But that's not. But
and how many owners in this league have ever had their own radio show?
No.
It's a gig, you know, that he does once a week.
Right.
None?
Because most of
I don't know any.
most owners, I can only look, Jerry actually have his, but I can only think of one other owner that would probably even want to have one, and that would be Al Davis. Because most of the guys tend to stay in the background, and they don't really have anything interesting to say. Fans don't really care what the owner has to say. It's not like he's playing, he's coaching, calling plays, or anything like that, Skip. So fans normally, but this guy's unique.
Listen, I covered Al Davis. He rarely spoke to me. And he rarely would return my phone call unless he had something he needed to get out there.
Correct.
And that one night at camp that I was there, when he called me over to tell me, you know what happened? He's talking about the tuck rule play.
Right.
He says, you know what happened? You know who got on the phone in New York, don't you? Paul Tagliabue got on the phone.
He believed that. He went to his grave believing that the NFL had it in for him, and they reversed that for him.
But he wanted to tell me that, so he did this. He called me over to tell me after a training camp practice the sun was going down up there in Northern California.
Wow.
And yet, could I get him on the phone? Did he have a radio show? No. Did he speak after games? Never.
No.
Never, ever. He disappeared. I mean, Al Davis was pretty much a ghost.
Right.
Right?
Unless he wanted to fire somebody like he did Lane Kiffin, and he called up there and did a pinpoint, Skip. You know, he pointed out, we did this and he did that. But then Lane Kiffin trotted Janikowski out to try the 80-yard field goal. That probably was the end of it right there.
That was it. So I will bet you that Jerry Jones spent some time the night before yesterday morning. We'll see, that was Tuesday. So Monday night, I will bet you he spent some time working on this cryptic line of his.
Of course.
Just so he could get Shannon Sharp to say, well, we know what it means.
Yeah.
Jason's gone. And we can get somebody else to say, no, maybe he means Jason's going to be a Cowboy next year. Maybe it works both ways. I will bet you that Jerry Jones was chuckling before his radio gig yesterday, like, watch this. I will drive them all crazy. I will drive them into a media tizzy after my radio show where they will all be wondering exactly what I'm trying to say here. And I don't care what he's trying to say, because you can argue, well, he's trying to create a little more creative locker room tension. They don't need that right now. The point is, Jason Garrett is going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys for the rest of this year.
Correct.
Because Philly ensured that.
Right.
And I don't think Jerry would have fired him anyway.
I don't either.
But the point is, now they're still afloat. They're still alive all the way until December 22nd. And that game will determine everything.
Skip, Jerry wants all the credit with none of the responsibility of blame.
No blame.
Skip, we went to my sophomore year, we went to Morehouse. We got beat 13-7. And Coach Davis was in the locker room, who was our coach at the time, and he's sitting there. He says, I'm not even mad at you guys that you lost. He said, I'm mad at me, because I brought you sorry mofos up here. Jerry Jones, you should be mad at yourself. You hired him. And you kept him on the staff.
He did.
Even after he went 5-3, 8-8, 8-8, and you kept him.
And 8-8 again. He won 3 8-8s in a row.
And you kept him. So I don't know what you expect. Like you said, he has, what he said, Skip, he and Jason have equity together. They, football equity. That's what I think he said, football equity. He played for me. He was an assistant under me.
You can use the phrase, we've had a football life together, as if he was dropping a hint. NFL Network, why don't you do a football life on Jerry and Jason, right?
Now, he would love if they did a football life on him. Like they did that, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, they did one on Al Davis. I'm almost certain they did.
Okay.
Skip, Jerry, in order for you to get to where you want to be, you're going to have to hire someone with a backbone. And if you hire someone with a backbone, they're going to have to, Skip, again, like you say, like Antonio, Jerry don't like when people tell him what he needs to know. Only what he wants to hear. Jerry, because all his kids call him Jerry. Jerry, you're right. Everybody calls him Jerry. Jerry, you're right. Jerry, you're wrong in this situation. Jerry, you shouldn't second guess. You shouldn't question your head coach publicly, because now you rob him of his ability to coach and his authority in the locker room. Because they know they're like, I ain't talking to you. I'm going to talk to Jerry. Once players found out that they had a pipeline, that they could bypass the head coach and go speak directly to that man. Why would I ever want to talk to Skip? Why would I ever need to talk to him? Why would I need to talk to Jason about anything if he has no control? Who plays, how much they play? Jerry's giving injury updates. Well, yeah, he had this, and I think he'll be out by 2 or 3 weeks.
He does. He does. He gives them before Jason does.
Yes.
Does it all.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, and it's the wrongest thing I've ever
It's
seen.
the wrongest thing,
Yep.
and they're like, and that's it. So he really wants a guy like a Sean Payton. He wants a guy like a Bill Belichick, but those guys would never.
No. Well, he tried Parcells, and then he wouldn't even let Parcells have his autonomy.
Right.
He wouldn't let him buy the groceries and make
Do the cooking.
Do the cooking, right?
Because Parcells says, no, I don't want to.
Okay, and
You got him.
That is true. And you realize in this same radio interview yesterday, Jerry went off on this long, weird soliloquy, taking credit for how he youthed up the coaching staff. He said, I did this. When I decided to go with a younger makeup of the coaching staff, I decided that, and we did do that. These are quotes from the show yesterday, where he went position coach by position coach. Mark Colombo, and then we went with Chris Richard, and of course we elevated Kellen Moore, and he's taking credit for building this around Jason, with Jason being the veteran safety net.
So in other words, the coach doesn't have any say on who is on his staff.
There you go.
And see, here's the thing, Skip, okay? When the criticism comes for Kellen Moore, Jerry hired him, but we blame Jason Garrett. Okay, when the defense don't hold up, he hired Chris Richard. He went younger. We don't blame Chris Richard.
Yeah.
We blame Jason Garrett. So all these coaches that Jason Garrett had no say in hiring, we blame him when it goes amok, but we don't point the finger where it should be.
Not at all. And his final line is, I felt we could do that, get younger. With Jason Garrett there, he could be the safety net in case the wheels came off. Jerry, they just came off.
They're
At
off.
least 3 of them are off. There's 1 wheel left.
Wheels are
barely.
off.
6 and 6. 1 wheel. They're just like teetering down the road.
They're
What
trying.
what he meant by that, when things go awry, I can just blame Jason.
That is true.
And that's what he's doing.
That's what we're
He
seeing.
just told Skip, he just told you, Jason would be the safety net. So when Kellen Moore, and we was like, well, why'd you take the ball out of Dak's hand? Or why you not running it? When Chris Richard is giving up all these, when you can't get stops, you see who gets the blame?
There you go.
That's what Jerry had planned all along, and he just told you.
That is true. So what have we just witnessed from Jerry Jones over the last couple of weeks? We have seen him go from good cop to bad cop to good cop to bad cop. And I swear, he thinks these things through. This is all premeditated because after New England, he went bad cop. And it felt like he was about to fire
Jason on the way home.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. And then after Buffalo, he went sappy cop. He went like crazy old uncle on Thanksgiving night after too much to drink. And he had tears in his eyes defending Jason Garrett.
Right.
And then yesterday, he woke up and said, you know what, I'm going to show him a little bad cop today. I'm going to drop this hint.
Yesterday might have been worse cop.
Yeah, worst cop, okay? So that's fine. He is creating more upheaval and chaos for a team that needs none of the above right now. Right now, all that matters is that the quarterback starts making plays that win football games.
Especially in the red zone.
That's correct. And that the running back starts making plays that win games. And that the receiver, the number 1 wide receiver, shows up for games and rises and shines and plays like the best receiver in football.
Agreed.
And that the defense shows up and shows out that it's not the defense that ranks 26th in turnovers forced and takeaways.
Right.
That it's not dead last in interceptions, because that's not going to win any of these games.
No.
So, again, this is a team that ranks first in yards, which Jerry loves because it plays right into what Jerry... It's like...
I hired a
to
young
me,
coordinator that got it going.
Okay, but to me, he's more about selling than winning. It's always been about more promoting than winning.
Correct.
So he loves it. We've got the highest powered offense in the league. Yeah, but you're 8th in points scored.
And you're 6 and 6.
And you're 20th in first and goal situations cashed, where you've cashed in with the touchdown. You're 20th in the league.
Right.
Well, that won't work.
Skip, because here's the thing. There's really no downside for them missing the playoffs, them not winning Super Bowls. Because guess what? Year after year, they sell more merchandise, more paraphernalia than anybody. All the 85,000 seats at Cowboy Stadium is sold out every week.
Well, they're the most valuable team in the world.
Business is
So
good.
so there's no downside.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a downside to that, okay, there's no shows. All of a sudden, they weren't as profitable. Then all of a sudden, but Skip, if I'm making $300 million a year, what's the downside? That's why he went, Skip. He went out on, Jerry's a maverick. He went out on his own. I wanted to have my own deal. I want to print up my own merchandise.
Yep.
So Cowboys, somebody make a great catch of Zeke eating, they print them shirts up, they got them out Monday morning. naming rights, the PSL. Everybody was doing Coca-Cola. Jerry said, "Nah, I want to do Pepsi. I want to do old Pepsi thing. I want to do my own jersey." Okay, so
I respect all that.
Yeah.
It took guts and it took some sort of genius. He's got some business genius about him.
He's like, I can do, y'all don't know what y'all doing. I can do this better. I can make more money doing it myself, and I get to keep all of it. And I ain't got to share with the other 31 because I don't think y'all working as hard as I am. So I don't think you should reap the kind of rewards that I'm reaping. But Skip, Jerry has to accept some blame, some accountability for this being what it is, because he hired that man and put all those pieces around him, and when things doesn't work, he don't ever mention the offensive line. He don't ever mention the defense. All he mentioned is Jason Garrett.
Yeah. So right now, Jason Garrett should be a non-story. To me, the owner GM should be even more of a non-story. It should be about what's happening in that locker room and on that practice field, because it's all you have left. Your only hope is that Dak Prescott sort of pulls them together and says, "I got you. I'm going to take you home here." That's it.
Does Jerry think the players listen and they get motivated by what he says?
No. I think they're tuning him out just the way they're tuning Jason Garrett out.
I think you're right, because they've heard. There's only so many times you can hear a pep talk or a speech before it's like, okay, here we go again.
Well, what do you say? Jerry can't play. Jason can't play.
No.
Right?
No.
So all of our focus, the media focus, thanks to this guy, Jerry Jones, is all on the owner and the coach. When really the focus has to be back on the locker room. The blame should be heaped on the owner / general manager.
I totally agree.
He wrought all this. He built it. He gave it to you, Cowboy Nation, and yet he had some quote yesterday. What was the one about? We do all we can do.